everyone, I just set up my machine, and so I thought I'd show you a little bit of kind of the sounds that I've been sort of working on and thinking of and kind of trying to learn how to do. So some of the kind of the stuff that I like a lot are sort of like these sort of like, I guess, atmospheric or hits or things that, you know, kind of are more like, I guess, cinematic sounds kind of thing. So I kind of started with some like sort of chimey things that I had actually had them for another song. So a lot of times I'll like kind of pull stuff as long as it's in the same key as what I'm working on. And then I kind of a lot of times just put it into my machine to sort of add, you know, so I can use it if I want to add stuff in. So I kind of had those already, so I was able to do that, and I had, let's see here. So Neon Girl is actually in the same key as what I'm working on, and kind of, it sort of probably is a little bit, I think probably was inspired by Neon Girl, because it's a little bit more of like kind of an extension slash sort of continuation, or maybe just in the same world of that song. So kind of the two songs that I've been having to work on are both, there's this song which is more instrumental, and there's another song, Neon, which is it's kind of another, some of the lyrics that I kind of didn't use for Neon Girl are going to go into another song. So with that, they're all in the same key. So some of the stuff, so that's why I was able to pull a little bit of the stuff from there. And then I kind of made sort of like an intro and an outro, but when I usually make stuff, it's all one line. So the backing track is all one thing, and that's the song. And because I wanted to sort of try to be a little more free with this, I was trying to figure out ways to loop things live, or have them looped in my program, so that I could decide when and where I want to stop it versus it already being decided for me. So, because that's kind of what I loved about watching the Vangelis videos, is he was just very, the freedom that he had I thought was really cool. And so I, some of the thing with that was, it was kind of a challenge because I don't really work that way as much. I had to sort of figure out how to be able to do some of those things with the equipment that I have. And so that's kind of why I'm using this sort of sampler, is because it can just trigger things anytime. I can trigger them anytime. But as far as doing some of the arpeggiation and things like that, that was kind of tricky. And so a lot of times what I end up doing is I sort of find workarounds of things. I don't always find the answer, but I find another way to do it that can, you know, I don't know that it's better, but it can get the job done, at least for what I'm looking at. So sometimes I'm not very, you know, savvy with all this stuff, so I kind of just have to figure out what, you know, bare minimum of what I could try to do. So so that was kind of what I was trying to figure out with the arpeggios, because I was trying to figure out how to keep them going without having to have them pre-made in the song, or so I figured out to kind of, one thing I'm kind of thinking of doing is, so like that's the arpeggio, but it stops, you know, I only made it go for like 2 bars. And so instead of hitting it all the time, what I think I'll try to do at least, see if it works. See if it works again. Yeah, so now it's looping. So yeah, so that's a little bit of how I kind of figured it. It's not very solid yet in terms of my knowledge and operation of it, but I think that, so instead of, I kind of just made these little chunks of arpeggios, and then I kind of put them in here, and then I'm going to try to repeat them as kind of basically what I did, and it was really fun to work on because, like I kind of mentioned in the other video, I had seen how deadmau5 kind of makes his sort of trancey, arpeggiated, or just kind of these quick melodies that he makes. It's really neat to kind of learn a new way and some new tools of how to make that. So that's kind of what. Oh, and then the other thing was, so I only have one keyboard with me while I'm playing, but because Vangelis has like so many keyboards, he can play a melody in one hand and another melody in another hand, and that's not really something I was able to figure out how to do because I just have one sound on my keyboard. And so I also tried to sort of figure out how to get another sound and just try to play some melodies in the machine. So I programmed. So they're kind of like just sort of like belly-like sounds, and so I'm not really sure if all this stuff will work. I'm hoping something will come out of it because I haven't really fully tested it until I'm gonna start practicing it. So, but anyway, this was kind of the other concept, is to sort of have kind of another keyboard, but in the version of these pads here. So, and then hopefully maybe I could kind of do that and then play my keyboard with the other hand or something like that. Or if not that, I could have that and play over that with melody or something like that. So, so I think that's kind of how I'm planning. Oh, and then the other thing was to sort of tie it into the next song, because this is going to come before a song where I'll be just doing everything, where it'll be like kind of an official song, I guess. This is kind of like an interlude sort of thing, because it's sort of improvisational. Is that I wanted to sort of tie in some of the, try to tie in maybe a couple of the vocal samples. So I think I have. So I think some of those stuff might occur in the next song. So hopefully it'll kind of just transition it maybe a little bit together, or kind of make them feel a little bit part of each other. So, so yeah. So I'll grab the rolly and I'll show you a little bit of that. So I've got my rolly here, and it's like I don't know, I feel like this instrument is magical because it's like, I don't know, the moment I touched it, it felt like everything was right in the world. Like, I think because it felt like I was playing guitar and piano somehow at the same time. And so it was so neat to have that feeling of just, I don't know, it's just a whole nother feeling when at least when I felt when I play it. And it's kind of crazy because I probably never would have discovered it without YouTube, because I'd watched a cover of, someone was doing a cover, and I saw this kind of this small little, little black device, and they were kind of just, I think, playing drums with it. And I was like, gosh, that thing looks so cool, looks so futuristic. And I was like, what the heck is that? And there's no names on it, it wasn't mentioned in the video. And so I was kind of just blindly like thinking, okay, what is this thing? And I was desperately I was like zooming in on the video to try to see like if I could read some sort of logo or anything. And I don't know how I finally was able. I think I just watched his videos so many times, different ones, that I was kind of able to sort of piece together parts of the word. It's rolly seaboard rise. So I think I was able to piece together maybe seaboard or something like that. And finally, then I found it, and because it's from England, and so. And it's been, and apparently, it's known, people know about it, but I just was kind of out of the loop and didn't know of this instrument. So anyway, once I was able to find that, I was just I was mesmerized because I thought it looked so cool, and then I discovered what it can really do, and that just like magnified my my love for it, because there was an instrument prior to this that I had seen, and it's called continuum, and it was kind of like just this basic sort of like I guess this sort of long, it looked like a keyboard kind of, but with no keys. It was just a flat, kind of like a flat surface, and what you could do with it is you could kind of like put your finger on it, you could play stuff, but you could bend stuff. So like, you could bend stuff any way you wanted, and it was really cool, and it's kind of like that was its own sort of, that's the only time I'd seen something kind of like that. And then finding this, it's kind of along a little bit the same idea, but you can also play stuff as you would a keyboard, because some of the keys are raised. So it was really cool to sort of find a kind of that same feeling, and so I've been kind of just, it's kind of been a little bit of a learning curve too, because the keys are not exactly like that of a piano. They're like silicone, so it's kind of just like touching this mushy goodness. It's really cool. It's like so, and it responds to like everything that you do, which is, they call it like 5D touch, and it's amazing because I never thought about all that stuff, but like it responds to how you press a note, but then how you lift off a note, and then how you slide, how you bend. So it really is, it's like high definition of like everything you could do and touch and feel. So so definitely like it's I got my work cut out just kind of learning how to sort of play it, but getting it, that's kind of why I wanted the song a lot, because I wanted to make the song mainly because I always thought, it would just be so fun to be able to play this, freely. So yeah, so I've got it set up, and I think it's just like on a guitar kind of distortion sound. So it's just like there's so many things you can do with it, and it kind of, one of the things sort of that I was also been trying to figure out is how to, because it's like a 5D touch and it responds to so many things, not every virtual program, virtual instrument is necessarily made or was intended for this kind of a MIDI instrument. So I was trying to figure out how to sort of set some of the, because I have some of the sounds that I've made in some of my own instruments, and I was trying to figure out kind of how to use those sounds with the keyboard and make it do all the things that it can do, because right now I'm in its own, it has its own really cool bank of sounds and operating system, and I was trying to make it work with some others, and they kind of show you how to do that, but that's kind of another sort of techie thing that I don't know that I've really kind of got down yet. So I don't know. We'll see if I'll be able to use some of my own sounds. But it's certainly got a beautiful bank of stuff, and so yeah, that was the other thing, trying to figure out how to reprogram this to work, reprogramming the machine. So kind of some more kind of techie sort of things that I've been sort of looking up on YouTube and trying to understand, and watching over and over again to sort of see if each time I could get a little bit more of an understanding of what it all means and stuff. So yeah, so I think and then I think I have another one where it's just they use other sounds where it's more just kind of, I guess, more keyboard-like, that's more guitar-like, but then here we go. So there's just so many things you can do. I don't even know all this stuff yet. It's kind of so mind-boggling. So I'm very just very new to it all. So trying to learn some stuff and see where it all can go. It's just so cool because it's like just an infinite possibility of stuff you can do with all this tech. It's just so amazing. And I only know like one microscopic, little particle of it all. And so it's really exciting to like, kind of, if you have like an idea in your head and then it's like, okay, well maybe I can use this instrument to do that. And then somebody kind of shows you online or you figure it out. And so it's really exciting because with this stuff, you kind of get to explore so many different possibilities and different new ways of making music. And I think that's why I love this stuff so much, is it's not just one instrument, it's just as many as you want. And especially with this, it's not just guitar, it's not just piano, it's not just bass, so it's not just drums, whatever, it's everything. It could be like everything, because it feels so cool and you can feel everything in it. So my brain has kind of been in this kind of world lately, and once I kind of at least get a good grasp on this stuff, and then I can start practicing it and running the whole set. So thanks for hanging with me, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'm sending you lots of love. I feel so but I'm looking at